All right, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my special guest from Central Connecticut State, offensive lineman Isaiah Deloatch, man. How's it going, dude?
Good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, anytime, bro. For those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell them who you are.
Yeah, my name is Isaiah Deloatch. I am originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Lived in Virginia Beach growing up, and then I moved to Connecticut about third grade. Played high school ball at Shelton High School, and then went to Central Connecticut from 2020 to 2025.
Okay, so what got you into football?
It's crazy, growing up, I always was a big kid, but my first love was hockey. It was not football. I grew up playing hockey all the way down in Virginia. But there's always that itch to play football. I was big. A lot of people were like, you should play football. You should play football. I was like, I would love to, but hockey was my go-to at the time. And then I got to high school, and they were like, well, you could play both. So I was like, all right, I'll try out football. And then from there, I fell in love with the sport. My high school ended up dropping its hockey program, so I just committed full-time to football, and it worked out pretty well, I'll say.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. Like, sometimes your friends are saying, hey, what you got to lose, right?
Exactly.
But hey, hockey is something that's a interesting sport. It could be a physical sport at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like football with the brutality, the hits.
Yeah.
In hockey, you get to fight a little bit, but the brutality is the same in both sports.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, what were the high school offers like coming from where you're from?
Yeah, my main offer is obviously Central Connecticut. I had a couple walk-on spots to Rutgers, to UConn. I had a bunch of D2 schools interested. Unfortunately, my grades were not the best. I could look back and admit to myself that I didn't do the best in high school. So a lot of opportunities were excluded from me due to my grades. But Central came up to me with a very tempting offer, very good. At the time, we were ranked nationally. They were like, hey, you could come here and do something special, and I decided to go Central.
Okay, can't go wrong with it, and it probably wasn't too far from where you're from.
No, 45 minutes, not even.
Yeah, kind of a distance drive, but not too big of a deal. At least you're close to the family, but you can't go wrong with it.
Exactly.
So what do you take away from that program? I mean, you had to go through the COVID year with all the challenges, right? What was the difficulty before you went to that program?
Yes, the biggest thing, like difficulty-wise, was definitely I was not a good student. I can admit that. I had my struggles early on, but with Central Connecticut, the family-oriented group that we have from our coaches, from our other teammates, drove me to be better and drove me to, really focus on my school. So one, I keep better for myself, set myself up for success in the future. And two, you can't play football without good grades. So they really pushed me, are always models first graduate and then perform well. Whatever happens after football, that degree is going to take you there, not whatever you did in college football. So that was the main backing from that.
Yeah, you got to put the grades up to get where you need to go too, of course. But like you said, you weren't perfect, and you had to work yourself to get where you're at. So kudos to that, man. Sometimes those grade academics is challenging for some students.
Yeah. Hey, I bounced back though. Graduated. So
you bounced back in a good way, man. So
exactly.
What's the backup plan for you, man? We always got something in case, man.
Yeah, my major was exercise science. I really love being in a weight room. So my main thing was strength and conditioning. That was my focus. So I interned at Yale for their strength and conditioning program. So my main backup plan is once I'm done with football completely, go back, be a GA, get my master's, and work up to a strength and conditioning role.
Well, I hope one day when it's all said and done, maybe you can do something for the 49ers, man, because we're having some issues with the strength and conditioning program. A lot of the injuries, man, that's got to be insane. Yeah. But we'll talk to that on a near future plan when it comes down to that road. But we're talking about like your career perspectively, man. You're about 6'7", 335 pounds. Mm-hmm. Have you only played one side of the tackle spot or the two side?
I played both. I actually played both tackle. I played everything besides center. This past year, where I could kind of pride myself in, I started a game at every position besides center. So I see myself as very versatile lineman.
Oh, so you played some center, okay, and then you played some guard also?
Yes.
Versatility from a small school, and that's crazy that you come from a small school. They're not even like our team started to come to you, man, or it's kind of still work in progress.
Yeah, I got a couple. I had the opportunity to go down to Dallas, do the Dream Bowl, talk to a couple of teams there. And then actually yesterday, we just had our pro day. Central hosted their own pro day, I think, for the first time ever. We had a couple of teams there, got good looks. I felt like I did pretty well. I feel like I turned a couple heads. So, definitely from Central, and then at practices, you would see, teams show up and just to watch practice and talk to our coaches about us and stuff. So you definitely get some eyes. The saying is, no matter where you are, they're going to find you. So that's what
For sure.
drive ourselves.
So how many NFL teams have you met with before?
I want to say probably around 5, 6, I'd probably say. There's a number of teams that have come to practice, but in terms of talking to physically, I think about 5.
So just 5 teams met. So I would think you said since it's Dallas, it's got to be the Cowboys, of course.
Yeah. Dallas a little bit.
Maybe
Patriots,
the Texans?
Huh?
Maybe the Texans?
Could be the Texans. I honestly, no, it was more Dallas. It was definitely more Dallas.
Yeah. Okay, Cowboys. Maybe San Francisco because they like those versatility offensive line.
Yeah, I saw them at practice a couple of times. I saw them look at me a little bit. So
okay, so they do have a little interest because they usually get some of the small school guys. I mean, the last time we did drafted a small school guy, he came from Fordham University, Nick Sakel. He was just a big offensive lineman with versatility. Maybe there's something there with you, but why should NFL teams draft you? What makes you stand out from your position?
I mean, definitely, I would say my versatility. Being able to start and perform at a high level at 4 5 positions is definitely what could turn heads. I think my experience as well. I'm at the end of what you call like the non-transfer era of college football. I stayed with one team, my one school, my whole 6 years. I pride myself on my loyalty to a team, to a coaching staff. Definitely that foundation, which I built on loyalty. That's how I decided my agent. That's how I decide to stay at Central. I think that would turn some heads in terms of NFL teams. Like if you're going to take a shot on me, I owe it to you to be loyal to you and stick things out with you.
That says a lot, man. Like it's rare. Like you see a lot of these students transfer multiple times, not just once, but multiple times.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a weird era of college football coming up now.
Was there like any other teams offering you some more money to go play for a big school when they needed that position or no?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely after 2024, I had a couple interested, a couple, talks on DMs and from Twitter and stuff. But talking to Coach Lecht and, seeing his values in person, I knew I wanted to stay. And I actually had, I think staying and being a team captain for Central my last year and having the accolades I end up having from that year, I think it was the best choice for me by far to stay.
Yeah, you want to stay loyal to a program. You already established yourself as a captain, and they look up to you as a leader. So I would understand why you wouldn't want to leave a program like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you go to another program, you have to reestablish yourself, and you got to earn the respect from that team and the coaches once again.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big thing. I didn't want to restart over. As my last 2024, we had some positional changes in terms of coaching staff, and I saw myself really as the only senior O-lineman left, and I got to build up this O-line in 2025, and we had a pretty productive year. So I pride myself in that.
Oh yeah, that's what matters. You've been a very durable offensive lineman, and you got a lot of experience, so that kind of makes you more intriguing than most of the people from the draft. So, big size, versatile, that's a plus.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how do you prepare for your opponents, and what's your pregame routine?
So, preparing for opponents definitely is film study, big film study. Staying after talking to coaches about what tendency they see from D linemen, how can, safety rotation help me decide if they're blitzing or not? That's a big thing. And then my pregame routine is kind of standard. I go out, 2 hours before, an hour before actual pregame warm up, go through all my footwork, get a good stretch in, build sweat, get us good sweat in, go back in the locker room, bump some music, then really prep myself for game time. And then that last 20 minutes, coach comes in and talks. I get my last, go-to song, Bodies, the remix, and then it's showtime. That's really all it is.
For sure, man. You gotta have a different preparation, all that stuff when it comes to the opponent's tendency and whoever you
Yeah,
face. Like you said, it depends on the blitzes or what they do.
yeah.
But what kind of scheme that you guys did at Central Connecticut State that can translate at the next level for you?
Yeah, we definitely a big, zone team. Big tight zone, inside zone, outside zone. And I feel like that translates pretty quickly into NFL. Be able to move fast. We were very we were no huddle. I know the NFL is a little huddle style, but being able to quickly get set on the ball, find out what I'm doing, who my blocking assignments are, and then playing as fast as humanly possible would definitely translate. Working out with some current NFL players, it's like you can't think. You got to go. Like you think for half a second, you're going to fall behind. So doing that in college, being able to move fast and get off the ball quickly definitely will translate well. I think it froze. I think it froze. Oh, yeah, it is. Uh-oh.
All right, my apology. I guess something happened with my laptop. You were talking about what's like about the journey and stuff. You were saying?
Sorry, what was it? Sorry.
Yeah, we were on that discussion, but I guess my laptop just went off.
Oh,
Yeah, what were we back on?
Transitioning, like what style from
Yeah,
Central to NFL? Yeah, it's definitely
yeah.
like playing fast. We're very much like our O-line coach, Coach Mursh, great guy, was very much like, let's be organic in the way that we block. Don't focus so much on double teams. Let the double teams happen naturally. Just give them a chance to play free, get us to play fast. That's a big thing. I think it will transfer over to Central to the NFL.
Okay, so you played the zone like you were talking about and that little no huddle stuff. So, and the way your coach was coaching you, that makes a good transition. So there's teams that still run zone, like you got San Francisco, the Rams possibly, and Dallas. I think they run a little bit of zone, if I'm
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, and also we were big like pass team too, drop back, being very good in pass pro. I pride myself, only one sack given up in 4 years of starting, being very strong punching, moving my feet quickly, redirecting. I know NFL is a big pass game nowadays, so definitely my pass pro could definitely translate very well over.
I'm pretty sure it is with a lot of that stuff. So, what's an area of weakness that you need to improve on at the next level?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing right now is that when I have my punch timed up correctly, it's dangerous. It can stop a man quickly. Getting that timing right. Sometimes a lot of the reps that I see myself losing or kind of getting beat on is when I don't time up my punch, especially in the pass game. Either punching a little bit too late and the guy gets to my chest, having to like reset my hands and stuff. So I think big thing I'm working on with my trainers is really timing my punches, really getting the feel of where that jab needs to be and throwing that inside hand as well.
Okay, that's something we all got to work on in certain areas. So, at least you're honest on what areas you got to improve on. So, what do you take away from your entire college career that's getting you ready for the pros?
Yeah, I think no matter what's happened, whatever adversity comes up, keeping my head down and working through it. I had a couple injuries in my college career that, happens. It's like violent sport. Injuries are going to happen, but I pride myself on bouncing back when injuries do happen. And, that having, an injury here or there and then be able to respond and still play at an all-American level is definitely something that I pride myself on, that knowing no matter what happens in the league, if I unfortunately get cut or have to get released or get traded, that I'm going to bounce back and be strong and keep working my tail off to prove myself and prove that I have value to any organization.
For sure. So what's the advice for somebody in your similar situation? What would be the encouraging message for them to continue this dream?
Really just keep your head down. You're going to see a lot of things. You're going to see that, especially being at a small school, you're going to see the guys get invited to the combine, get invited to the Senior Bowl, get invited to all these big events, right? And you got to know yourself that, hey, you're from a small school. You're not going to get those eyes on you. So put your head down, work out in the weight room, do what you need to do to make yourself better. And then when you get your opportunity, take full advantage of it. Central was lucky enough to have a pro day yesterday. I took advantage of it. I truly felt like I PR'd in every test. I felt like I did very well. Having opportunities, even though there might be less than someone from Alabama, LSU, take advantage of those, and then you'll see success and you get rewarded for that.
For sure. You seem like kind of like that inspiration kind of person when it comes to that. So what do you take from your pro day, just from all that? Do you feel like you walked away a little bit better than you expected, or you think you got a lot of work to do?
I think I walked away a lot better than I expected. I felt confident going in. I definitely felt like I prepared myself well. And then, getting there, running the 40, doing the bench, doing all these tests, I was like, wow, I'm actually like, I was telling my girlfriend this earlier today. I was like, I'm happy that the work I put in showed. Like, the work I put in showed by me PRing in every test that I've done. So I was really proud about that. I think it's definitely, I'm excited about it. I think I definitely turned some heads. I think I definitely, got on some new team's radar and definitely can grow from here.
For sure. What do NFL teams see you mostly as a tackle or a versatile offensive lineman, or what other position in general?
Honestly, it's versatile. Talking to a couple of teams, I heard guard, I've heard tackle. I think tackle is where I'm comfortable at, but I feel like if I can dominate at a guard position, I think that could be very beneficial for me. I think that can help me out a lot in the league, being someone that can start anywhere and be very well at it. So honestly, I see myself as a versatile guy, but a lot of teams are just mixed between based on what I've talked about.
Like you said, you played tackle, but you're more than open. Why do you feel like being versatile as an offensive lineman is important at the next level?
Honestly, I mean, it gets you paid, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's definitely like, all these other positions like receiver, corner, linebacker, they can play special teams. They can show their worth by being on kickoff return, all this stuff. Lineman, you're rarely on kick, especially in NFL. You're not going to be on kickoff. You're not going to be on punt. You're not going to be on any of these special teams besides field goal. So you have to add value to yourself. So playing multiple positions, being versatile, adds that value to yourself.
Yeah, it does. And the good thing about it is if an injury happens, they can always find a way to put you out there. Like, let's say you're playing tackle, right? Let's say the guard was hurt and they like you at that spot and they can just put in another tackle at that spot.
Exactly. We have instances like this past year alone where, our guard went down and I was playing right tackle. So instead of putting someone else in, they bumped me to guard and put a tackle in. So it's definitely like adding value and helping out the team any way you can.
For sure. It makes it more important. That just proves that you're capable of playing any of those spots. Like you even said that you could be willing to play center too.
Yeah. I'll snap a ball if I need to. Whatever I need to do to help a team win, I'll do it to help a team win.
And you would probably be the biggest center in football if you were to play center right now.
Probably, honestly.
I mean, in all perspective, why do you feel like the offensive line doesn't get enough recognition, man? Like, without the lanes for the running backs, without the protection for the quarterback, this wouldn't be without the offensive line protecting, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not the prettiest guys in the field. We go all up to that. We got big guts. We like to have, fun and stuff. But, being an O lineman, you have to be okay with other people's success, So like when my running back scores a touchdown, I'm always the first. You can have 100 pictures of me throwing up my boy Ehal up in the air when we score. So I relish in my teammate's success. My quarterback throws a touchdown, I'm slapping on the butt, give him a big hug. Then I'm going out to my receiver, making sure he gets his 11 too. So being that glue guy, being that gel for the team, that's what the trenches are, both O-line and D-line. You have nose tackles that will get double teamed, hold up two people so a linebacker can make a play. It's just how the trenches work, My coach called us the Mushroom Society, throw us in a corner, throw us crap on us, keep us dark included, and we grow, we get better.
Oh, absolutely. Like, for those future students who want to go to Central Connecticut State, why should they go to that program?
Oh, Central is a school, is a family-based environment. We had a couple of recruits come this past winter, and the big thing I talked to them is that a lot of schools, especially the higher you get up, is a business. It's all about getting money, all about getting paid. Central is not a big NIL school. You're not going to get a ton of NIL money, but what you will get is experience. You'll get a family-focused team, and you'll get a community-based that will be like strong supporting. Like Central is. There's a lot of people on campus, but it's also a big commuter school. So when you're on the weekends, you're spending time with your teammates. Like your teammates are going to be there at every party you go to. Every time you go to dining hall, you're going to see teammates there, and you're going to sit with them and talk to them nonstop. And the coaches will have your support throughout everything. Like I said before, I struggled academically. The coaches didn't say, "Oh, he's a lost cause." No, they helped me out. They got me extra tutors. They made sure that I did whatever I need to get my grades up. So that's definitely a big, advantage of Central, is that we're a smaller school, so you get more focus on you.
And it's a family oriented also, so that's kind of convincing for some people to go to that program. And plus, they uplift you instead of like saying you don't qualify.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's got to be some intriguing spots. So, okay, so you growing up as a fan, you were more into hockey, but does the moment feel surreal that just that one time you did football, did that really change your perspective to like, you know what, I can make it to the pros one day?
Yeah, it's crazy because like my high school was a big football school, but there wasn't a lot of big names coming from the high school. Our biggest name is Dan Orowski. Obviously, everyone knows him. He was the guy from Shelton. Like he went to UConn, broke all the records at quarterback, still has a ton of the records. And you see his jersey up in our main like plaque when you walk into school. You see it there. So I'm like, I wonder if I can be there one day, right? And then it didn't really hit me until about sophomore year of college when scouts were coming to see some of our other players, and our O-line coach, who was our NFL liaison at the time, was like, "Hey, they're asking about you. They're asking like how old you are, what your size looking like. Like if you really perform well, you have a chance to take your shot." And then so from there, I was like, all right, well, this is actually a possibility now. It's not just a fever dream. It's not just far out. It's actually closer where I can almost touch it. So grinding my next, 2 or 3 years, and then this past year really performing at a high level, getting the accolades that I think I needed to show that I'm a good player, especially at the FCS level, to earn a shot. Definitely. Now it doesn't seem so far away. So
it seems like you're getting ahead of schedule the right way. And it seems like you have selective options to go any career path. Like football, of course, you want to focus on. But do you ever have like a vision of pro wrestling in case it doesn't work out?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not very good on a mic. I don't think I could probably wrestle well, but I'm not good. Like
maybe have a manager do the mic.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. I could be that big grunt guy, big Bruce guy who looks big in the cameras, don't say much. That could be an option. It'd be fun.
I mean, yeah, there's selective options because you got the size, and even with the way you were playing different sports. But of course, football will be something because you said there's teams starting to pay attention to you. So outside of football, who are you as a person?
I'm a jokester. I'm a carer. Like, my girlfriend calls me a big teddy bear sometimes because, I look all big and scary, but I'm soft. Especially around her. But yeah, I think main thing is I'm definitely like, if you have meaning to me, I have your back 100%. I see myself as a protector. That sends back to football, being a lineman, but definitely, if anything happens to all my friends, family, I'm always going to be there to protect and care for them and make sure everything's all good.
Oh man, I wouldn't want to poke that bear for sure, man. Like I wouldn't want to mess with. I mean, compared to 6'3" to 6'7", with your big lengthy size, man, I would rather have you as my bodyguard if anything else.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I mean, sometimes the size advantage could be a difference. Sometimes you never know, man. But dude, like even like you just said, like in your city, Dan Orlovsky is somebody big in your guys' city, but his football career was okay, but when it comes to ESPN, he's quite made a good living.
Very good living.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's doing well. He made, what I said, like the greatest position in sports is a backup quarterback, and he lived there. So
yeah. The only thing he's probably known for is that out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
Play.
Yeah,
no,
funny.
But other than that, you can't.
Yeah, he came to my high school.
What were you saying, my bad?
Year, and he was talking to us and stuff, and he brought it up as a joke. He was like, "You guys mostly know me for running out of bounds," and it was a good joke. But, it's good to you get to see that hey, even from a decent sized town in Connecticut, you can still make it.
Yeah, and I think his numbers at Connecticut were pretty good. It just wasn't good at the next level, but he made a good career as an ESPN analyst currently, so he's living just well as everybody else is.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I guess you can have something to push the standard for, man. Maybe you can be the offensive line take guy instead of him doing the quarterback takes.
Yeah, I could. I always, it'd be fun to be on TV. It'd always be fun. Joke around a little bit.
Fun. Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. But okay, let's do some rapid fire, get to know a little more about you. So, PlayStation or Xbox if you had to choose a video game?
Oh, Xbox. Xbox since I was a kid.
Okay, Madden or NCAA?
Right now, NCAA. Right now, it's NCAA, but before it was Madden.
All right, since we're offensive linemen kind of people, we can get on our cheat diet. You're in the middle of nowhere. You have to choose between Burger King or McDonald's, man. Or alternate option could be fine, whatever you prefer.
I mean, honestly, I'm probably going Chick-fil-A. If we're throwing anything out there, I'm throwing Chick-fil-A out there.
Okay, Chick-fil-A, I guess they have the healthy options.
Yeah, you get a lot, but that crispy chicken is good. I might eat that every day.
Okay, so that would be on your cheat diet. Okay, so as far as all that, Walmart or Target if you had to choose?
Ooh, probably Walmart. Definitely Walmart.
Low price, can't go wrong with it, man.
Yeah, definitely can't.
Definitely can't, man. So it's going to be probably an experience challenge going from out of your state, going out of Connecticut. But you were from Virginia, so you'll probably have to get accustomed to just like how you were coming from Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I get accustomed to, Connecticut, being in New England's kind of weird, though, because, we get every season. But I just don't know how, let's say going to Arizona, it's hot 24/7. So, I don't know how to adjust to that. And maybe going Wisconsin, it's cold 24/7. I don't really know. It should be interesting. It should be fun. I'm always up for a new challenge. For sure, man. So, what was a team you grew up watching? Oh, so I was a Cardinals fan. I still am a Cardinals fan. I grew up. My first really game I remember sit down watching was a Super Bowl between Steelers and Cardinals, probably one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. And I was I saw Larry Fitzgerald catch that ball in the middle, score a touchdown. And there I was oh, I'm a Cardinals fan. They're gonna win this game. I was gonna bandwagon a little bit, not gonna lie. And I was yeah, I'm gonna be a Cardinals fan. And then they ended up losing the game. But I was all right, well, I'm sticking with the Cardinals now. And then I've been Cardinals ever since. So yeah, that was my team.
I mean, you can't go wrong with it. There is a guy with a bigger size like Calais Campbell. He kind of has that mold size like you are.
Yeah. Calais Campbell was fun to watch. And his first time, and he's actually still doing well now. He did very well last year.
Even at 40 years old, yeah.
Yeah, he's still moving at 40, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's like the Shaquille O'Neal of the NFL. Plays until that age, man.
Yeah, literally he's just a big body and just does damage.
I mean, going from the Arizona desert, man, it's just dry heat, man. That's the only difference. But that's going to be my journey is moving down over there. So that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I definitely love to see the area. Never been out to Arizona. I would love to get out there sometime.
I mean, hey, I can't judge you on that. Like you just said, you were just following that team since. Everybody has to find a team ever since, but it's kind of rare to find a Cardinal fan until I interview you. That's fun.
Yeah, literally, like every time someone comes up to me and goes, "Yeah, what's your favorite team?" I go, "Cardinals." They all like, give me like a look, like, "Really? You sure?" I was like,
Well, I mean, I've actually worked with an NFC West roundtable with a big time Cardinals content creator who's got so many followers. But there's quite a few guys I know who are Cardinal fans. But it's just like it's like Bigfoot, man. To us, it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, especially hey, being in the Northeast, I'm like Sasquatch. They have no one expects it, and then all of a sudden, Cardinals come out.
But it would be a dream come true for you to go play the desert if that happened. But whatever team presents itself, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely a dream to play for the Cardinals one day. You know, you always have that list of teams that you would love to play for one day. But honestly, I just want to make my impact anywhere I can, and any team that's giving me a shot, I'm gonna fight my butt off to make sure I get that chance to them, or give my opportunity to them.
For sure, man. I'm sure it is, man. So, you know, everything has its way, but you feel like the moments feel surreal, bro. Like you never thought of this happening, right?
Yeah, I know it's weird. Like I keep like I'm sitting down one like randomly like across days. I'm like, damn, like the stuff I see on TV can be me in 6 months, can be me in almost half a year. And it's crazy thing about like me sitting down, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta call my agent. 12-year-old me, if I had to sit down and say I had to call my agent, they'd be like, what is like, no, you don't. You're not him. You're not that guy. And it's crazy because, like I said, like Sheldon doesn't have a lot of that, you know, NFL talent coming through. So I go out to eat and everyone's like, oh, Isaiah, it's good to see you. I see you're doing so well. So, you know, having that backing, that community support from my hometown is definitely, you know, still like keeps my, you know, vibes up, keeps me feeling like I can do this.
Oh, for sure. So how do you handle adversity when things don't go your way as a team?
The big thing is that I, especially this past year, like being in a captain position, trying to make sure the head stays clear, right? You're down in games, fourth quarter, you know, how do you react? Are you going to be like, oh, it's all done, like we don't know what to do? Or you're like, all right, let me take a deep breath. Let me do my job so it gives us an opportunity to win. The last game of the year, URI, you know, we have 58 seconds left on the clock. We got to drive the ball down the field. We're all in the huddle. Hey, guys, take a deep breath. We got this. We drove the ball down. Unfortunately, didn't go our way. But that whole time, I was preaching to my own line, hey, let's say one play at a time, one step at a time, one snap at a time, so that way we can keep moving the ball. We end up moving the ball pretty close to the end zone because unfortunately it didn't go our way at the end. So definitely keep a clear mind, take one step at a time, which I do with anything, whether it's end the game, off an injury, whatever I need to do in life, it's always one step at a time.
For sure. But how do you handle the adversity that's gone your way? Like, you know, the win column. How do you handle that situation?
Oh, it's definitely keeping a level head. You know, at Central, my first couple of years, we struggled. And then 2 years ago, we started to win a lot of games and play very good football, ended up winning our conference. And then next year, Coach Leck was preaching, hey, we still have that underdog mentality. You know, just because you win a game doesn't mean you're going to win the next game. Once that buzzer sounds at the end of the fourth quarter, every stat, everything you did in that game is now gone. So now you got to reset, refresh, and get ready for the next opponent. And that's the way I treat every game, every rep, everything is, hey, I might have lost this rep. All right, let me win the next one. Get it out of my head. I can learn from it later, but right now, take it one step at a time.
Sure, man. Because everything, like, you can't take every play for granted because just because you have a big lead doesn't mean it's safe.
Exactly. You have to keep playing at
the
level. Oh, cut out. Sorry. What did you say?
Oh, no, but for sure, you got to keep it going no matter what the outcome is. Like, for example, the Atlanta Falcons were up by big points and they blew that game away.
Exactly. Yeah, you can definitely cannot, you know, lower your standard when you're up. You definitely cannot do that.
For sure. But hey, man, definitely appreciate your time, bro. I know the moment feels as crazy as it gets, bro. But hey, whatever the opportunity presents itself, man, I'm definitely rooting for you to succeed, man. Whether it's with your dream playing for the Cardinals or whatever NFL team, or even if you come to the Bay, man, we got to make a round two happen, man. But bro, whatever happens, man, I hope you succeed at the next level.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on. I really appreciate this.
Oh, for sure. And one last thing, before we end this, tell everybody who you are and what are you doing currently.
My name is Isaiah Deloatch. I am currently preparing for the 2026 NFL Draft.
For sure, everybody, go check out Central Connecticut State offensive lineman Isaiah Deloatch, 6'7", 335 pounds. He can play tackle, the guard spot, or if you need him to play center, this man can do it. He's the versatility piece that y'all need at this next level. But hey, man, thank you guys for tuning in, and we are out.